Hey Natalie.
How are you?
Doing well, how about yourself?
I am well.
So today we're here to talk about our 5 days of action task, meaning that we're going to talk about how can we keep our kids safe in the YMCA world, as well as, how can we start those conversations at home. But the first question I want to ask you are, what are some hurtful or disrespectful things people have said to you in the past?
One of the most hurtful things that has been said to me is that I can't do certain things because of my differences.
Yeah.
So that didn't make me feel good.
And what did you do to kind of like combat that? How did that, what actions kind of followed when you were told those things?
I just shut down. I didn't know what to do, so I got quiet. I started to believe those things were true because why else would they be saying those things to me?
No, yeah, I've definitely had to shut down as a kid and felt that way before. What advice would you give to like Natalie now? If you could go back in the past and change, how you felt, what would you do instead?
I would definitely tell someone I trusted. I would tell a trusted adult because they're the ones who make me feel safe. I can go to them when I feel unsafe and they can calm me down and reassure me. So Otis, what are some respectful ways of touch? And then what are some personal boundaries, that you would set for yourself?
I remember specifically being a kid and having a close relative come up to me and kind of, wanting to hug and not really wanting to hug, but then you're kind of forced to hug. And so you don't really get that consent. For me personally, I don't really like when people, come up and, tap me on the shoulders out of nowhere from behind. I'm not a big touching my hair type of person. I don't really like that either. I would, say I'm a pretty affectionate person, but still I'm like, hold on, back up a little bit. And that's just how I feel personally. So yeah.
I would ask, hey, do you want a hug? Or hey, can I have a hug? And if they say no, it's a perfectly respectable boundary.
And every personal boundary is different. Some kids want to be touched one way and some kids want to be touched another way. And that's for adults as well. And it doesn't go away just because we get older or just because we're younger.
Who are your trusted adults? Tell me about 3 of your trusted adults in your life and why do they make you feel safe?
3 trusted adults for me. So I would say number 1 is probably my father. Having a parent that was very open and had conversations with me regardless if I wanted to have them or not was very beneficial for me when I was younger. I also think about my mentor at the Y, Ben, you know him, and he gave me a space to always come and talk to him about anything, and he felt like, he wasn't going to judge me, and I felt like that was very beneficial. And then my teacher, Mr. Davis, when I was in 6th grade, he was very intentional about, giving us a trusted space. He had a basketball hoop in his classroom, and so we were given the space to kind of, do what we wanted, but with some intentionality behind it, and I think that's very important for me.
Right, it's always important to have, safe and trusted adults that you feel like you can go to.
So like, what advice would you give to somebody that was in an unsafe situation?
If someone was in an unsafe environment, I would advise them to get away from it. Whether that is someone you're talking to or an environment that you're in, to just walk away and get away from the environment. And then I would tell them to go to one of their trusted adults. So for you, like your dad or your Y mentor or your teacher.
And so when you're talking about specifically going to your trusted adults, what advice would you give to a trusted adult when having that conversation with a kid?
Be willing to hear them out because you are their safe person, So they are coming to you being vulnerable.
So Natalie, why do you feel these conversations are important to start having at home?
I feel like these conversations are super important to have at home, so not only you, but me, the adults in our household and the youth in our community can know the signs of abuse. My body belongs to me.
I have the right to be safe. I deserve respect.